You've spoken about moving to another level since you came here. How exactly have you done that?
Well, I think when you're just playing in the biggest games every season, year after year, I think that puts you on that stage. You know, I had moments at Spurs where we had that. We had some really great years where we was challenging for titles and we was in the final of the Champions League. So, I had those moments at Spurs, but not on a consistent basis. It wasn't year after year. And this is my second year in Bayern, and we have the chance to reach our second semi-final in the Champions League, another title race. So, all those factors that come into it. Bayern are seen as one of the biggest clubs in the world, and it's exciting to play for them. So I feel like my game's just changed a little bit under those circumstances, and maybe been looked at a little bit different. But ultimately, I'm the same person I was at Tottenham. I still score goals. I still try and get assists. I still try and help the team off the ball. And in terms of my game, I feel like as you get a little bit older, you just learn more and more each year, and that's probably why I feel like I'm improving each year as well.
If you took a step back, how would you analyse your career so far?
Yeah, pretty good, to be honest. I've done a lot of things I've wanted to do in my career so far. Of course, I know the team trophy is the one that everyone will refer back to, but ultimately, you have to do your best in every situation, and I feel like I've done that. From when I set out, it was always about how consistent I could be. I looked at the greats of the game and what made them great, and it wasn't just doing it in spells, it was doing it year after year, and that was a big drive of mine, to be able to consistently be one of the best players in the world, and that drive will be with me until the end of my career. Whether I finish with 1 trophy or 20 trophies, ultimately it won't change my mindset in what I want to achieve and how I try and achieve it. Like I said, we have another opportunity this year to win some trophies, and that would be incredible, and maybe that would stop that noise around me a little bit. But I think in football in general, you're always going to have people who doubt you, people who criticise you. The most important thing is that you know what you're trying to achieve. Your teammates respect you for how you work, and the club respects you, and the fans respect you, and that's ultimately who I care about.
You say pretty good for your career. I think in preparing for this interview, I was speaking to people, and one of the greatest English players of all time was something that kept cropping up. It seems unfair that you've not got a trophy yet. Is that how it feels in your shoes sometimes?
Well, look, I've been extremely close. I know haven't got over the line, and that's part of the learning curve, and that's part of the ups and downs of football. But I've been to a Champions League final with Tottenham, which was the first ever. I've been to 2 finals with England, which was the first time in 60 odd years or 70 years in a major final. So there's been a lot of good things along the way. I know, football and sport in general is pretty cutthroat. When you don't get over the line, a lot of the other stuff almost gets forgotten about. But I think that's what makes you who you are. Those learnings, those ups, those downs. Ultimately, it's never a straight line to the top of the mountain. There's bumps along the way, and I think for me the most pleasing thing is the motivation and the drive to keep trying to be the best I can be. And look, when it's all said and done, those conversations will be had, whether you're one of the best, not the best. That's not really in my control. I just try and be the best version of myself, and I feel like I've done that. I feel like I've earned the respect of the people I want to earn the respect from, and and there's still a lot of chapters to be played out yet, and in my career.
Who are those people that you want the respect from?
Yeah, I think family, friends, teammates, coaches, fans. People who really understand football and understand what I bring to the game. As we know, in life and football, you're always going to have people who try and put you down, and in a way, it kind of motivates me to be even better and be even stronger, and use that as fuel to drive me on even more. But ultimately, the people who really are respected in football is why I do this, and my friends, family is why I do this, and I feel like a lot of people are proud of what I've done so far, and they're excited to see what else is to come.
Somewhere in the future, if you're looking back in, say, 10 years' time, What do you want people to say about your career?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, to be honest. You know, I feel like there's been a lot of great moments. I've given people a lot of joy over the years, and I hope even more joy in to come. But ultimately, you know, if I keep doing what I'm doing, I know I'll be you know, seen as a top player, but also a top person as well. I think being a good role model off the pitch is just as important as what you do on the pitch, and you know, I try and do that to the best of my abilities, especially for the younger generations, the young boys and girls watching. Football is so worldwide now. You know, there's a lot of eyes on you, and whether people like it or not, how you conduct yourself off the pitch is really important. So, yeah, overall, just to be probably respected in that way, and know that, you know, whoever talks about me know that the most important thing is that I worked as hard as I could for the team to be the best they could be, and yeah, whatever you achieve along the way is a bonus.
Coming to Germany, how has it been? What have been the biggest challenges, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the first kind of 4 or 5 months I was here without the family, and that was really tough, not to have, you know, my wife and kids here, just to kind of focus on football, and they were still in England. I had a newborn baby, so all that stuff was tough to deal with. But yeah, since they've been over in last January, you know, things have settled down pretty well. I mean, my life doesn't change too much in terms of my schedule. You know, we train, we go home, spend time with the kids, we play a bit of golf, we go to games. So in terms of that, you know, there's not too much difference to England. Of course, you miss a few friends that you have back home and family members, but you make new ones here. Like you know, the kids are kind of settled in school, and you start to meet parents, and you just start to live life. So yeah, I think that was probably the biggest challenge, was to start. But ultimately now, you know, I feel really comfortable here. I feel settled here. My family feels settled, and that's kind of, you know, big thanks to the fans and the club as well for making us feel so welcome. So, you know, however long I'm here, and I hope it's, you know, a few more years yet, I just want to give my all to them and pay back kind of the love that they've showed me so far. What's
the hardest thing about German from your experience?
Learning German, yeah, just everything, to be honest, everything about it. You know, I think as an Englishman, I'm quite spoilt. Obviously, a lot of people talk English around the world, and it kind of opens your eyes to learning a new language and how difficult it is for, you know, other people learning English, etc. So, yeah, I hope I get to a stage where I can at least hold a half decent conversation with someone German, but I still got a ways to go yet.
Will Thomas Müller be that person?
It could be. I mean, I've heard his German's quite strong, and quite hard to understand even for Germans. So maybe I'll go someone a little easier to begin with. But yeah, who knows?
When it comes to the adventure that you've been on here, is there any part of you that thinks one day I'd still like to go back home?
I'm not sure. I've said throughout my whole career, I'm not someone who likes to think too far ahead. You know, I'm extremely happy here. I think we have a fantastic team, fantastic coaching staff. And I just feel like, you know, whilst I feel like I'm in the best condition, I want to play at the highest level possible, and this is as high as it gets. So I know a lot can change in football in a short space of time, and things can happen, but ultimately my focus is here. I'm not thinking about any other league or any other team. And with football, you know, I like to just go with the flow, and at the moment, the flow is here at Bayern Munich.
So we can put to bed any of those stories that I've seen of something in the summer?
A few random stories out there for sure, yeah. So I don't know where they come from, but for sure I'm happy here at Bayern Munich.
Your aura was something that you spoke about on international break. You spoke about playing in the big nights, the big games. Are there other feelings that give you that aura? Is it the way that defenders are defending against you now, or what did you mean?
Yeah, I probably meant kind of what I spoke about a bit earlier, just being at a club like Bayern Munich when you're competing in these big nights every year. Yeah, maybe that aura around you in terms of just kind of being spoken about a bit more, being looked at a bit more. I think defenders always kind of, throughout my whole career, have been you know, trying to change the approach on how to defend me. You know, from my first season to now, it's been a little bit different. So Yeah, I don't even know if aura was the right word. I just think, being on the big stage more often than not is, it just kind of puts you out there a little bit more. And I think the more you can do it in those big nights, the more respected you become. And, I've had opportunities to do that last season, the game against Lazio, Arsenal, Real Madrid in the Champions League, they're big games. And then what you want to be a part of, and we have the opportunity to do it again now, against Inter Milan and then at the San Siro away. So just stadiums and teams that you've been watching your whole life, and now you're doing it on those kind of big knockout stages is what it's all about.